Well, I'm here with John Willis on one of his tools of trade. We're sitting right up on a case header, which will do how many acres a day, John?
Oh, probably do 100 acres a day.
100 acres.
Depends how good a day you get,
Yeah.
how hot it is, what the
Yeah.
weather is.
Yep. And we'll come out to talk a little bit about exactly what John does. So John's farm is just out from Tarlee. They have how many acres?
Oh, around about 4,000.
4,000 acres. And what do you crop on that?
Bit of wheat, barley, peas, canola, and a bit of hay, and a bit of sheep feed. A bit of oats and clover and vetch for sheep.
And that's a full-time job, not just in summer and spring?
That's a full-time job.
Full-time job. John's just been fixing up a hay cart as I've come out here. One of the things that I wanted to ask you was what sort of things you have to do each year in the crops to keep the weeds down, because I imagine that's a pretty big job in itself.
Yeah, it's a management tool. You've got to time your sowing, let your weeds germinate and get it to kill them before you actually sow if you can. If you don't, you can get selected herbicides in certain crops that will take out your weeds as you go.
So how many weeks would that take?
Well, actual spraying doesn't take that long because the boom's pretty wide.
Okay. So
you just got to get the weather right, the right winds and the right directions. Because certain crops you've got to be monitoring what your neighbours through the fence. You don't drift into them.
Okay. I hadn't thought of that. Of course you would have to, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that obviously is an added expense as well.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
And have you had years where you didn't quite get it right, so you got too much weeds in the crop as well?
Oh, generally not too bad. We missed radish in the crop one year. We had to wait a week or two and go back with something else to do it, because we had to wait until it stopped flowering before we could control it.
Yeah. And you, just before we started this, you were talking about the paddock that had dandelion in there. So what are you going to do? Let everyone know what you're going to do with that.
That was sown with oats and clover for sheep feed, the dandies, because that was sown with the first rain. Nothing to germinate, we just went and sowed it because we wanted to get sheep feed in early, and the dandies have come up with it. So we've grazed it off, and then we sprayed it with something just to sweeten the dandies up, and we'll turn the sheep back in a few days' time to hopefully they'll trim the dandies out and leave the oats and clover there.
So you'll still be able to get a crop?
Yeah, we'll still. Okay. The oats and clover should grow on when we take the sheep away afterwards.
Okay. We also spoke a little bit about the risks that you face each year. So what would be the number one risk?
The weather. Whether it's going to rain enough or too much.
Because it can do both, can't it?
Yeah, because you can get too much rain in the summertime during harvest will spoil your grain. If you don't get enough in the growing season, you suffer with yield loss.
Is frost or hail, are they issues?
Oh, frost around here is not too. We very rarely get hit with frost here. Just occasionally we get hit with hail, but that's what you got insurance for.
Okay. And what are the other risks?
Your commodity price is taking a big tumble down low, and your input costs going the opposite way. All to do with the dollar. The dollar value has a lot to do with that.
Yep. And what do you like about your vocation? We're talking about vocation, and this is yours, obviously. What do you like about it?
Just open air and virtually your own boss. You can do most things you can do when you want, as long as you get the seeding and harvest and the critical things done at the right time.
Yeah. And right time, how much of that is guesswork and how much is it really knowing what you're doing?
Well, a lot of it's past experience.
Yeah.
The tendency now around here is that everybody's going earlier and earlier with sowing.
Okay. Well, thanks, John. It's been good to talk to you.